Hi guys, welcome to the Fight Ash channel. A possible mega fight of Usyk Fury has become the main topic of discussion in the world media since Anthony Joshua admitted that he could go on a retreat. According to the manager of the Chinese Avenger Zhang Zhilei, Anthony Joshua's team is looking for an opponent for the next match. Does this mean that the ex-champion abandoned that idea of an immediate rematch? There is such a possibility. After all, Joshua himself recently posted a video appeal on social networks, in which he talked about the next steps of his career. The Briton did not rule out that the right money could force him to step aside and give Usyk and Fury a fight for the absolute championship. But at some time, he doesn't intend to finally give up the rematch with the Ukrainian. Usyk's promoter Alexander Krasyuk also confirms the idea of such confrontations. Sasha Usyk is ready to fight Fury. Negotiations on such a fight have been underway since Tyson knocked out Wilder. We heard that Joshua might give in to us. If we agree on all the conditions with the Gypsy King, then the Usyk Fury duel will take place in the first half of next year. As you hear, promoter Anthony Joshua doesn't comment on such information in any way. Recall that Alexander Usyk became the owner of the WBA, WBO, IBF and IBO titles after a confident victory over Anthony Joshua. In turn, the Gypsy King, Tyson Fury, put a spectacular end to the trilogy with Deontay Wilder and defended the belt according to the WBC version. Friends, before starting to watch this video, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. If you really enjoy the content, then please subscribe to my channel and keep watching the videos. If you are subscribed, then you receive notifications about the release of new videos. You do not even have to look for anything personally. I really want to get 10,000 subscribers on my channel. I'm trying very hard absolutely every day and I need your support, your likes, comments, reposts to social networks. Thanks to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are my support. Thank you so much. IBF, WBO and WBA heavyweight world champion Alexander Usyk heard that Anthony Joshua could step aside from the rematch to allow a fight for the absolute with WBC champion Tyson Fury to take place, and is ready for such a development. This was stated by the promoter of the boxer from Ukraine Alexander Krasyuk to Sky Sports. In the fall, Usyk declassified Joshua. The Briton activated the contract clause for an immediate rematch. The second fight is scheduled for the spring of 2022. There has been talk about AJ's departure to the sidelines here, and their Science Fury knockout Wilder. I heard that Joshua could have thought about it for a sizable amount. Science he respects the division and is ready to let the fight for the absolute championship take place, the functionary says. Usyk said he could fight Fury next if there was the right money, and if Anthony would let him do it. Joshua's promoter Eddie Hearn has not yet commented on Krasyuk's words, but said that they are working on a rematch. AJ is already in camp, physically and mentally set up for a rematch with Usyk. That's all he's been thinking about since the first fight. Hearn said in November, former two-time world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua can regain his titles and go down in history, along with other great heavyweights of the past, if he follows the example of Vladimir Klitschko and finds a suitable American coach. Klitschko's manager Bern Banty believes. I recommend that Emmanuel Stewart to Vladimir Klitschko because Vladimir didn't feel very well after losing to Corey Saunders, and he, as you remember, tried different coaches. And then I called Emmanuel and arranged a meeting for them, and the rest, as we know, is history. Banty recalled in an interview. With the help of the steward, his various tactics and their close relationship, Vladimir returned to the ring and didn't lose for almost 10 years. Joshua can do the same. There are certainly similarities between Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua, Banty said. In the rematch with Alexander Usyk, psychology is very important for Joshua. That is, I think he is similar to Vladimir. He needs to feel good before the fight. He needs a good psychological attitude, no questions in his head, and then he can win the fight. All I know is that psychology is the most important factor for Joshua in the rematch, and he has to solve this issue, as well as the issue with the coach. It's very important that he fully trusts his coach, that they chose the right strategy and approach the fight on a psychological uplift. This is the most important thing in this case. If he makes the right decisions, I'm sure Joshua will be able to join the elite group of 3-time world champions. I think he needs to make changes and he will be on the right track. Former 2-time world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua commented on the suggestion from the camp of WBC champion Tyson Fury that he could refuse an immediate rematch with WBA, IBF and WBO champion Alexander Usyk in order to then meet the winner of the unification fight between Usyk and Fury, and Joshua's response was not as categorical as expected. I think they understand that you don't have to come out to me with this nonsense, Joshua said about the offer of Fury and his promoters in an interview. Maybe they talk to my team, but I think they understand that it's not worth talking about it with me right now. Fury recently stated that if Joshua loses to Usyk again in a rematch, then his fight against Joshua, which has been talked about for several years, will never take place. I would prefer Joshua to let me have a fight with Usyk, Fury said in an interview, because if Joshua loses again, and I think he will, then our fight with him is impossible. You can't lose 2 fights and go to a big fight for the heavyweight titles. But if he lets me face Usyk and I beat Usyk, then I will fight Joshua and beat him too. And then I'll just leave, and they can take the belts, Fury said. As for the compensation, I don't know how it fits with my beliefs. But frankly, I want to have a reputation and a very smart businessman, Joshua said. If the amount is appropriate, we will have to think about it, but respect is much more valuable to me than money. The first is respect. The second is what I will remain known for when I retire from boxing. And the third is business. Should I agree to a settlement? Is this a smart business decision? Will it affect my reputation and respect for me? Will I then be able to get fights with the best opponents? I need to consider these 3 points in my career. These are the 3 principles I adhere to when it comes to boxing, Joshua said. WBC heavyweight champion Tyson Fury can have 3 fights next year, and he is ready to face any heavyweight in the world, including interim WBC champion Dillian Whyte. Although the WBC has not yet officially scheduled a fight between Fury and Whyte, due to the court proceedings on Whyte's complaint. I think Dillian Whyte should be Tyson Fury's next opponent, Arum said. We need to move forward and decide on a date and an opponent for Fury. And in my opinion, it's illogical that it should be Dillian Whyte, despite Fury's recent statements that he has already achieved everything in the professional ring and could end his career at any time. Arum plans to organize 3 fights for Fury next year and claims that the Briton is ready to fight any opponent. What I would like to see, and this is what he would like to see, is to return to the ring in February or March and have at least 3 fights in 2022, Arum said. I hope everything will turn out that way. Fury is ready to box with anyone. I really think he is the most outstanding heavyweight in the world, and there is no one in the world with whom he would refuse to fight. According to Arum, they object to the WBC appointing Whyte as a mandatory challenger for the title, because how he can be a mandatory challenger if he was knocked out by Alexander Povetkin? Arum said this is in an interview with WBN, but noted that they are ready to conduct a voluntary defense against Whyte if they manage to come to an agreement. Whyte is not a mandatory contender until the court makes such a decision, but it doesn't matter if we can agree on fair terms, Arum said. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel.